If you found yourself awake at night, questioning whether it's time to leave, chances are your instincts already know the truth. Men aren't shattered by the act of leaving. They're broken by the months or years spent ignoring that quiet voice inside that whispers, "This isn't right anymore." In the next few minutes, I'll outline the 5 unmistakable signs that tell you it's time to let her go. Not because you stopped caring, not because you failed, but because holding on costs something far more valuable than love: yourself. And here's what most men fail to notice until it's too late. These signs don't appear suddenly. They arrive subtly, hiding behind arguments, tension, and moments of stress. But if you look back, you'll see they were always there, quietly waiting for you to face them. Stick with me, because the final sign is the one that quietly erodes even the strongest men from the inside. Most men don't even see it until the damage is already done. Let's start. Sign 1. Your peace has become the price of staying. At first, being together felt effortless. Conversations flowed easily, silence wasn't awkward. Being with her didn't demand constant energy or mental calculations. But over time, something changed. Now, every exchange feels like a careful negotiation. You think twice before speaking. You rehearse basic sentences in your head, anticipating her reaction. You measure your words like a bomb disposal expert, rather than talking to someone you love. And the worst part, you can't pinpoint when it began. You just know your chest tightens when her name flashes on your phone. You leave time together drained instead of uplifted. You need long stretches of solitude to recover. That isn't love. The truth most men refuse to admit: if being with someone consistently saps your energy more than it replenishes it, it's not a temporary rough patch. You might argue every relationship requires effort. Sure, effort is part of love, but there's a difference between building something together and holding together something that's already falling apart. A real partnership doesn't demand your peace, it preserves it. Someone who genuinely values you won't make you shrink yourself to avoid conflict. They won't turn disagreements into wars. They won't punish you with coldness or withdrawal every time you miss a mental cue. Yet many men make a critical mistake. They normalize anxiety. They tell themselves, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I'm too sensitive, maybe this is maturity. No, that's not maturity. That's survival. And if your safe place feels like a battlefield, you must ask yourself, why am I fighting to stay where my peace is always the cost? If peace is constantly sacrificed, the relationship isn't giving love, it's draining life force. And that's why the next sign digs even deeper into what's truly happening. Sign 2. You're carrying the relationship alone. This one slips in quietly. It doesn't announce itself. You initiate conversations, you organize dates, you fix the mood when tension rises, you apologize first even when the fault isn't clear. You adjust, bend, and accommodate while she just exists. She participates when convenient, engages when she feels like it, and gives effort only when it benefits her. And the painful reality: the relationship only feels alive because you are sustaining it. So you craft stories to justify it. She's stressed. She needs space. She'll come around. Weeks pass. Months pass. The pattern doesn't change. And here's the truth you've been avoiding. If your energy is the only thing keeping it together, this isn't a partnership. It's a solo performance, and the audience isn't watching. Think, when was the last time she showed real affection unexpectedly? When did she make you feel valued, appreciated, or emotionally supported? Struggling to recall? That's your answer. True love is mutual. It flows both ways. One-sided effort isn't loyalty, it's exploitation. But men often confuse their struggle with dedication, thinking, if I keep trying, she'll see my worth. That's not how value works. Someone who values you won't watch you carry everything alone. They meet you halfway, match your energy, reciprocate effort. If they don't, it isn't your fault. They've already decided you're not worth the effort. It's hard to accept, but the longer you stay, the more you teach yourself a dangerous lesson. Love is only valuable when proven through exhaustion. Which brings us to a sign that quietly reshapes your self-perception. Sign 3. She dismisses your feelings and makes you doubt yourself. This is the trap that turns confident men into anxious, self-questioning versions of themselves. You bring up something that hurt you, something valid, and instead of listening, she deflects. You say, "That hurt me." She says, "You're overreacting." You say, "I don't like that tone." She says, "You're too sensitive." You say, "Why did you do that?" She says, "You're insecure." Suddenly, the conversation about your feelings becomes a debate over your flaws for even having them. After enough repetitions, you start believing her. You doubt yourself. You wonder, maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe it's me. But a person who truly loves you doesn't gaslight you. They don't make emotions a weapon. This isn't accidental, it's deliberate. Manipulation requires one thing: making you distrust your own perception. When you can't trust your feelings, you won't challenge their actions, leaving them unchecked. It starts small, little dismissals, subtle blame shifts. Before long, you tiptoe around your own relationship, afraid to speak up. You start choosing words like evidence in court, replaying interactions to prove you're not crazy. That isn't communication, that's survival. So test it. After a serious conversation, do you feel closer, clearer, or smaller, guilty, more confused? If it's the latter, you're trapped. And the longer you stay, the more your self-trust erodes, making you vulnerable to manipulation and impossible to respect. That's why the next sign matters. It shows whether your needs are allowed or if you're only expected to provide silently. Sign 4. Expressing your needs leads to punishment. This is when a relationship stops being a partnership and starts feeling like confinement. You aren't demanding the impossible. You're asking for basics: honesty, consistency, respect, emotional presence. But every request comes at a cost. You ask for more communication, she withdraws. You ask for affection, she calls you needy. You ask for clarity, she accuses you of pressure. You request boundaries, she calls you controlling. Eventually, you learn a harsh lesson. Speaking up costs peace, so you stop. You swallow, ignore red flags, pretend everything is fine. You justify it, picking battles, maturity, letting small stuff slide. But in reality, you're erasing yourself to keep someone else comfortable. Healthy relationships don't punish honesty. They foster dialogue, understanding, and compromise. In toxic dynamics, your needs are inconveniences, and the message becomes, stay quiet to survive. If peace, affection, and respect depend on silence, that's not love, that's conditioning. And suppressing your truth doesn't disappear. It becomes resentment, exhaustion, and distance. That's why even simple interactions feel draining, because you're not allowed to be human. You're expected to endure endlessly. Someone who truly loves you won't punish you for honesty. They may not meet every need, but they won't make you feel like a burden. Partnership is mutual. Both people's needs matter. If yours don't, you're not a partner. You're an assistant. Sign 5. She broke your trust and nothing changed. This is the sign that destroys good men, not just from pain, but because it forces you to confront what you've been ignoring. This isn't about a single slip or momentary lapse. It's betrayal, repeated, intentional, boundary-shattering. Maybe she cheated. Maybe she lied. Maybe she violated trust in a way that crushed your foundation. When it happened, your world stopped. Sleep and appetite vanished. You replayed moments, asking, how could she do this if she loved me? And if you're a good man, you blamed yourself. Was I not enough? Did I fail her? Yes, relationships are complex, but betrayal is still a choice.
When repeated, apologies without change reveal character. She either doesn't respect you or doesn't fear losing you, both fatal. Someone who respects you protects your heart. Someone who fears losing you safeguards what you share. Someone who repeatedly violates trust without consequence teaches you a dangerous lesson. Your love is limitless, their behavior is unconstrained. And the cycle repeats: denial, blame, tears, promises, calm, and then betrayal again. Every acceptance without consequence reinforces that loyalty is optional. The hidden cost isn't the betrayal itself, it's what it does to you. You become suspicious, anxious, and constantly on edge. Confidence erodes, trust in yourself fades. You're no longer a man in love, you're a man in survival mode, and futures can't be built from anxiety. Ask honestly, did the behavior stop, or did she just hide it better? If your instincts still sense inconsistency, you know the truth. Staying isn't love, it's self-betrayal. Choosing the comfort of familiar pain over the fear of leaving. Fear of leaving lasts weeks or months. Regret of staying too long lasts years. These signs are crucial, but context matters. Examine patterns, not isolated events. Distinguish a rough patch from repeated, unchanging behavior. If she's genuinely growing, that's different. If the same issues persist despite effort and accountability, that's who she is, not the version you hope for. Hope without evidence is denial. If you recognize yourself here, if reading this felt heavy, you already know the answer. The question isn't, should I let her go? It's, do I love myself enough to do it? Letting go isn't stopping love, it's reclaiming respect for yourself. Choosing the man you want to be over familiar comfort. The greatest act of self-love is walking away from someone who treats your value as optional. You deserve peace. You deserve reciprocity. You deserve someone who honors your needs and protects your trust. If she isn't that person, time, effort, and love won't change it. Take a breath, assess clearly, and ask the crucial question: if nothing changes, can I live like this 5 years from now? If the answer is no, then you already know what to do. Walking away is scary, painful, even heartbreaking, but staying in something that slowly destroys you is worse. Because leaving lets you remain whole. Staying too long costs pieces of yourself you may never get back. Choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose your future. On the other side of this pain, a stronger, wiser, freer version of you awaits. The choice is yours.